Okay, we finished watching the movie, and Hamza is gonna give his opinion.
Okay, so spoiler alert. I've read the books.
That's my opinion!
Hi. Today I'm going to watch Dune 2. I'm literally so excited for it because I feel like it dropped on, what was it, Friday the 29th, yesterday? And everyone has watched it. So I'm dodging spoilers. I don't even want to look at a picture of the movie. There are some movies that you just simply cannot watch at home. You can't watch on streaming for the first time. And I made the unforgivable mistake of watching Dune 1 at home because it definitely dropped in cinema and streaming at the same time. And I was like, I don't even know what this movie's gonna be. I don't even know what this movie's gonna be as well. Wrong. Because the visuals of in that movie are meant to be experienced, plus with the sound in the cinema. So I'm just so happy that so many people have flocked to the cinema, giving us the reminder that cinema is never going to die. It's never going to go away. If you produce quality movies, the people will come. It sounds like a political statement, but it's true. I think as an audience, and I said this on my TikTok, by the way, a whole story coming up about my TikTok. The standard of what audiences are demanding in order to actually go to the cinema and watch is much higher, and I don't see that as a bad thing. I don't see streaming as it's going to be the death of movies and cinema. People are always going to go. Honey, I will keep me and my other 5 binges in this world. We'll keep the cinema industry afloat if we have to. But that's just not going to be the case. We are demanding more of directors, producers, storytellers, anyone that makes movies at whatever scale. We're just demanding better stories. So how is everybody's life? If you are looking for a show to watch at the moment, let me give you some recommendations, girl. You're already here. I might as well. I would say Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Oh, let's break it down. Do you know my new thing? My new thing is giving recommendations and the times at which you should be watching them, whatever mood you're in. Oh, come on. So if you're looking for something bingeable, particularly in one sitting or in 2 days, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you can start it in the morning, you'll finish it by the end of the evening. I think it's 10 episodes. Avatar: The Last Airbender. So that you can also finish in the morning, finish at night. Something that you should start in the evening, The Bear. That is also a one sitting type of show. If you're looking for a long-term series, bingeable series, I'm always going to say Grey's Anatomy. Always. Please pause while we apply. Queen Charlotte, if you've never watched it. I will stand with you between the heavens and the earth. Ooh! If you've never watched Bridgerton, watch Queen Charlotte first as a prequel and then go into Bridgerton. Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, do that. Ooh, there we go. Okay, the lashes are on. Now that the lashes are on, we need to wipe this powder off my face. Wipe the powder off my face. Ooh. Another TV show that you should be watching. I use the MAC Dark Deepest. You should watch Lessons in Chemistry. It's a limited series. Do you know I only found out recently that limited series means that you're only getting one series out of it? Now it's time to bronze. This is the Glam Bronze by Morphe. And that I probably should renew because I got it years ago. But oh my god, guys, I mixed these 2 blushes to get the desired result that I want. Mascara under your lashes. Okay, I gotta get dressed. It is literally by God's grace that I even managed to get here somewhat on time. The screening is at 3:30 and it's literally, I don't know why, we live in London, someone is recording, everybody's a content creator here, don't stare at me. Yeah, I didn't check and I had to take a detour. But yeah, now we're here. I'm not gonna lie to you, I expected there to be a lot more people and it's pretty empty. That's better for us. Same for us, as if you're here with me. This is Hamza.
Nice to meet y'all.
You got all the snacks. Okay, what I actually need to figure out where we're going. Okay, we finished watching the movie, and Hamza is gonna give his opinion.
Okay, so spoiler alerts, obviously, guys. I've read the books, so I'm gonna give a bit of a book-esque opinion on what we saw at the movie.
I haven't read the book, so this makes
There
for
you go.
interesting conversation. Actually,
Exactly. I think it was really good, but they skipped a lot of the lore or sort of the background context of the story. So, cinematography I think was great. Music was great.
I agree.
I felt the sounds. I got goosebumps every now and then. I was like, oh, this shit's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But in comparison to the books had so much more lore. They explained the Fremen way more in depth. Mu'addib, the entire Bene Gesserit, how they came to Arrakis.
But why do you think that's important?
The reason why I think that's important, obviously, spoiler alerts, guys. What happens throughout this movie is Paul Atreides, the main protagonist, he goes on to lead the Fremen in their fight against the Harkonnens and the Emperor, right? But there's sort of an original grand design that this Bene Gesserit type of group have come up with. The way I look at it is, if the Bene Gesserit are sort of like, if you think about it in Star Wars terms, right? Because Star Wars was,
I've never watched Star Wars.
Hey, Star Wars took influence from Dune. For those who don't know, if you look at it in Star Wars terms, the Bene Gesserit are kind of like this Sith secretive society that is trying to control the Empire and all the big houses.
Not even trying. They are.
They are. But learning more about that, learning more about the Fremen, learning more about the houses and the Empire itself.
Yeah.
So other than the Harkonnens and the Atreides, the other houses, how they interconnect, how sort of that empire works, and why they're all after spice and after this planet Arrakis. I just think a bit more context would have made it easier for people to understand some of the more in-depth concepts. But in general, I thought it was great.
Okay, all right. To push back, I think Dune, the first movie, does a lot of groundwork in making you understand the importance of Arrakis, the importance of spice. So you understand that this power play is called the Bene Gesserit, and there's this whole Messiah thing, right? Now, the reason why he's saying that, because when I came out, I was thinking, Paul's mum, right? He's the one that was pushing this whole Messiah kind of like faith around. I was like questioning her agenda. And especially by the end, by her becoming the Reverend Mother to replace the other lady, I was thinking, was this a personal gain for you as well as for your son? Or was this a thing of, this is the Bene Gesserit's aim, and you just wanted to push it through? And the fact that she's Harkonnens as well,
Yes.
that makes me question her motives even more. Maybe, as you said, if we had more information about the importance of why did the Bene Gesserit plant this idea to the Fremen specifically, to what end, maybe then I would maybe believe that Paul is this destined figure. But right now I don't think he is. I think he made a power play. I think he was just made at the right time with the right amount of momentum over however thousands of years they've done it, and now he's using that power to his advantage because somebody has to. But I don't think it's this whole mystical thing the way his mother believes.
So this is where I think the lore is so important, and this is where the movie sort of misses out. Gives you subtle hints, but as someone who hasn't read the book and only seen the first movie, they mean nothing to you. As someone who has read the book, I barely even recognize them. Which is, for example, if you remember Stilgard, well, I call him Stilgard. He mentions that anybody who drinks the water of life as a male should die.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
that's why you remember that.
Yeah.
Now, in the books, it's more about, first off, by the way, Stilgard dies in the books and is killed by Paul, by Mu'addib, in order to become
circle.
In the circle, exactly.
Where are they going with this?
So they didn't do that part in the book.
But that's why I think it's a power play though, because he came in there all guns blazing.
All guns blazing. He wants to take over.
Yeah.
This is the thing. They didn't really explain how much those blue waters, that Kool-Aid you talked about.
Yeah, he drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
They didn't describe how much that Kool-Aid actually changes Paul.
Ooh.
And they didn't describe how much of a huge step him surviving that is. This has never happened before in history.
But that's why they believe in him so
that's why
much
they
more
believe in
as
him.
the whole Messiah.
Yes.
What's he called?
The Messiah, exactly.
No, I want to say it in the proper word.
Mu'addib.
There we go.
That's what they call him, right? Now, what we don't know in the movie is, you know how the Harkonnen kid, Paul Rautha,
Yeah.
he got tested,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. And
And
they
Paul
have
got-
options. That's what I love about them. They have options.
So
It's
they're
not
trying to
one
groom
thing.
multiple people.
Yeah.
The problem is,
For their
the-
agenda.
exactly. The Bene Gesserit in the book, their agenda is to make sure no man achieves that level of power.
Oh shit, she's fucked up.
So
The
that's why she called them an
abomination.
abomination.
Okay.
Exactly. So in the books, it's all about what these guys have been planning for so long,
Yeah.
and trying to stop it from happening. What happened in Dune 2,
She created
the new Reverend Mother, his mom, she went against their whole ideology and got Paul sorted out because she figured out this guy is the future.
one.
He is the actual chosen one that even the Bene Gesserit have been afraid of. And she's chatting to his little sister, no?
Yeah, that little sister,
They
that thing
don't
is
explain
weird.
any of this.
That little okay, but maybe they'll go deeper into that
They
in
might.
the third movie.
This is it.
She's not
This
born
is
yet.
it.
Okay, overall rating out of actually no, I do rose. What I call them now, rose ratings instead of 5 stars. Have roses. Rose ratings.
Okay.
So how many roses do you give this movie?
I would give it a 4.4.
4.4.
4.4. So it gets a lot of points for great music, visuals, directing, writing. I think it gets great points for, even though it's sped through the events, they tried their best to keep the most important stuff out of the book in the movie. It's obviously missing. I think it really just brushed over a lot of the fight scenes. It brushed over a lot of the sort of important pieces of information weren't given their time of day because there was just so much happening they had to get in there. So that's why I give it a 4.4.
Oh. I wouldn't even give. I was just gonna give it a solid 4, to be fair, and that's why I was saying this earlier in the vlog when I was getting ready. The perspective of book readers versus someone that comes in without reading the book is so different because you hold it to such a higher standard.
Oh yeah, I love it, guys. I'm addicted to spies myself. So
I'm gonna give it a solid 4 because obviously when it comes to cinematography, A1, use of sound, A1. Splitting the movie into 3 acts. The first act I understood. I was like, all right, cool. It's coming straight after. The second act, I felt like it dragged a little bit. Even though I understood, okay, it was Paul going through that inner turmoil and learning the Fremen way. At some point, I thought he's not even going to call on the Emperor. I don't know where this is going. So because of like that lag in the middle of not necessarily like, I'm not that I didn't understand. I was just questioning like, where are we going? Too much. That's why it would lose a star for me. But that's why it was interesting when you said if I knew all of that background,
it would
that second act would have meant more. But the third act, it was 10 out of 10. Like I like the fact that it was like 1, 2, 3. I was like, oh shit, he's calling on the Emperor. He's like standing on this like Mohali thing. You should shout out your thing.
Oh, Hamza's Econ Bites. If you want to give me a follow, I don't know, maybe I'll be somewhere.
I'll put it on the screen.
On the screen. Just click that. And economic analysis, guys, if you're into that, most people aren't.
If you want to know a little bit about it.
If you want to know, welcome. If not,
still follow.
And still follow.
Okay.
And like. Thanks, guys. Likes,
follow.
subscribe.
No! But also a quick shout out to my plant. It's even plastic. I've already paid for the streaming service. Why do I have to pay to watch a movie or particular shows?
That's my